Be that important. He can wait.
Yes, sir. A nice girl, George. That's Miss Gordon.
Yeah, she's a wonderful secretary. Couldn't get along without her.
How is it such a nice girl like Miss Gordon don't find herself a husband?
I don't know. I don't think she's interested in men.
Well, George, I see you're busy, and I think I'll go home now.
All right, Mama. Take a taxi up
Oh,
there.
the bus is all right, too. The bus is good enough. And thank you, Georgie, for David. And from now on, I'm sure he'll be a good boy, like you. And every night, George, I say a prayer for you and for him.
Goodbye, Mama.
Bye, Georgie. Take care of yourself.
Goodbye. Rexy.
Yes, Mr. Simon?
Rexy, how much did I tell you to send a bill to Mrs. Richter for?
Oh, 5,000.
I better make it 6 and send it to her as soon as the separation agreement is signed. I wanted to get it while she's still grateful.
Yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Simon.
Yeah, what is it?
Motion to dismiss Palin against White National comes up this morning.
Getting adjournment.
And here's a money order for $50 from Mrs. Moran in that accident case.
Send it back. She can't afford to send me $50.
Hello, Mr. Simon's office. Miss Gordon speaking.
What is it now?
It's Mrs. Simon.
Oh. Hello, darling. How are you?
How are you, dear?
I'm fine.
I had a hard time getting you.
Yeah, I was talking to Washington.
You didn't get home last night.
No, the jury didn't come in till after midnight, and by the time I got it out, it was nearly 2.
George,
Yeah?
did you check on the reservation?
Oh, yes, darling, on the Paris. Say, why don't you have lunch with me?
Can't I have a date?
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry.
All right, that's all right, darling. I'll see you this afternoon around 3.
Thanks.
Goodbye, sweetheart. All right, anything else?
Well, Pete Malone's still waiting to see you. Oh, and there's a wire from Washington. I don't understand it. All it says is yes, and it's signed XYZ.
Let's see it. Swell. Get Joe Fishman of Fishman and Company right away. Come to buy 5,000 shares of Gulf Coast Utilities, the market.
But, Mr. Simon, you said only last
I
week.
know it's a lousy start, but that wire's a hot tip. The court's going to dismiss the complaint against the company, and the stock's due for a little whirl. Go on, hurry. What are you waiting for? Do what I tell you, and sending Pete Malone.
Yes, Mr. Simon. Bessie.
Yes, Miss Gordon.
Mr. Simon will see Mr. Malone.
Yes, Miss Gordon.
Oh, and Mr. Simon, before you go out, Mr. Tedesco would like to have a word
All
with
right,
you.
all right. Come in.
Hello, George.
Oh, what's on your mind, Malone?
Plenty, George. I'm afraid it's not good news.
Sit down, fill it.
You know my brother Ed, the warden up at Elmhurst.
Sure, I know him. How's getting along up there?
Oh, he's getting along all right. They tipped me off to something I think you ought to know.
All right.
Do you ever remember handling a case for some fellow named, wait a minute till I think of his name. It's some Dutch or Hebrew name, something other Stein. Wait, I think I wrote it down somewhere. Yes, here it is. Breitstein. Johann Breitstein. Remember him?
Yeah, I remember. Johann Breitstein, German boy. I defended him on a larceny charge about 8 or 9 years ago and got him acquittal. What about it?
Was there something about an alibi?
Yeah, he had an airtight alibi. That's why the jury acquitted him.
Yeah, well, it seems there was another guy who was mixed up in the case. Is that right?
Yes, he established the alibi for Breitstein.
That's it. Well, this bird's doing a stretch up at Elmhurst, and it seems he had a session with a friend of yours who's a member of the parole board.
What are you talking about?
A man by the name of Francis Clark Baird. Ever hear him?
Yeah? Well, what about him?
Well, this bird's been giving Francis Clark Baird some song and dance about that alibi being framed up.
What do you mean framed up?
Well, I'm just telling you what Ed told me over the phone last night. This guy Baird on the grievance committee of the Bar Association, too?
Yes, I think so.
Well, that's what Ed said. He says he's got a hunch that Francis Clark Baird would like to get something on you, George. I guess that's right, too, ain't it?
Sure he would. I licked him to a fare you well in half a dozen cases.
Well, that's what I said to Ed. There's nothing to it, Ed, I says. George is too smart a boy, I says, to let himself get mixed up with anything like that. Only I thought I'd better tip you off.
Thanks, Pete. It was swell of you to let me know. Hey, what do you think of those silk stockings trying to pull a thing like that on me?
Well, you know how it is, George. These guys that came over on the Mayflower don't like to see the boys from 2nd Avenue sitting in the high places. We're just a lot of riffraff to them.
Yeah.
Rexy, come in, please.
Yes, Mr. Simon.
I got to be getting back to the office. So long, George. Come around the club some night.
Yes, it will, Pete. Thanks for the steer.
Keep the change. So long.
So long, Pete.
Yes, Mr. Simon?
Listen, Rexy, I got a job for you. It's important.
Yes, sir.
About 8 or 9 years ago, I defended a fellow named Johann Breitstein in General Sessions. I want you to get a hold of Breitstein right away. Let everything else go until you locate him, understand?
Yes, certainly will.
And get me all the papers out of the files and have them here for me this afternoon. People against Johann Breitstein. Then send up to General Sessions and order a transcript of the stenographer's minutes of the trial and locate Breitstein. And ask Mr. Tedesco to step in here right away, and I don't want to be disturbed.
Yes, Mr. Simon.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Simon?
Is Charlie McFadden out there?
She's gone to the bank.
All right. Get a hold of him as soon as he gets in. I want to see him. Hello, John.
What is it, George? You want to see me?
John, you're my partner. Got a right to know this before anyone else. Did you ever hear of Francis Clark Baird?
Baird? Yes, I heard of him.
He's got something on me, and he's going to break me.
What do you mean he's got something on you?
Well, you think I'm crazy when you hear this, and maybe you're right. I once helped a fellow out of a jam by putting over a fake alibi.
Subordination of perjury?
Yeah, that's right. They can't get me on a criminal charge. The statute of limitations is run, but they can disbar me, and they will.
Disbar you?
What I said.
George, how did you ever get yourself mixed up in anything like that?
Oh, don't ask me. I was just a fool, that's all. I'll tell you how it happened. 9 years ago, a kid by the name of Brightstein stolen $12 out of a locker in a bathhouse. Well, I advised him to plead guilty and get off the few bucks, and I discovered that he was a fourth offender and that a conviction meant a life sentence. Well, I didn't know what to do about it, so finally Brightstein said he could get a fellow to swear that he was in his house in Jamaica the day the robbery was committed. I couldn't refuse, John. I'd known the kid and his family. I knew he'd go straight if I got him off, and he has, too. I just couldn't see that kid get a life sentence, so... Like a sucker, I went into it. Now the chickens are coming home to roost.
But, has this fellow Bradstein been squealed?
No, the guy that fixed the alibi's been talking, making a play for parole, and of course Francis Clark Baird has to be on the parole board. Funny in a way. For years, that Yankee's been trying to get something on me. Every time he's drawn a blank, and now this one thing that was dead and buried and forgotten falls right into his lap, and it's as good as if I'd misappropriated $1 million.
Well, can't you bluff it through, George?
Well, maybe yes, maybe no. Trouble is that the case won't bear any investigating.
Oh, good Lord.
What am I going to do, John? They're going to disbar me, sure as fate. It's rich, isn't it?
I guess there's not much use going to Francis Clark Baird with the whole story.
That's a laugh, John. Might as well throw a biscuit into a cage of a man-eating tiger.
Well, I know some ways that you could get him that would put an end to his funny business forever.
John, listen, we're a long way from Sicily, boy. Put it out of your mind. You'll make me sorry that I told you in a minute.
Well, what good is a rat like that? He's out after our scouts, isn't he? And why? Because we came from the streets and our parents talk with an accent.
Oh, what's the good of talking about all that? He's technically right and he's doing his duty.
Well, you're not licked yet, George. We'll pull all the wires we can.
Thanks, John. I know I can count on you to the last drop of blood. It's one bright spot in the picture. Got you and one or two other friends that'll stick to the finish. And a wife that's 100%. That makes it worth fighting.
That's the boy.
You know, maybe I'm building this thing bigger than it really is. See how it works out. I just wanted you to know about it, John, that's all. Yes? What is it?
Charlie McFadden's coming, Mr. Simon.
Send him in right away.
Well, I guess I'll be going, George. I'll see you later.
Come in, Charlie. All right, John, I'll give you a call when I come back for lunch. Thanks.
All right, George. Keep your chin up.
Okay, John. Thanks.
You want to see me, Chief?
Yeah, Charlie. Sit down. Listen, Charlie. Something I'd like you to do for me. It's pretty important.
Okay, Chief.
There's a lawyer by the name of Francis Clark Baird.
Sure, I know him. He's right across the street in the French building.
Yes? What I'd like you to do, Charlie, is to see what you can find out about him.
You want him shadowed, is that it?
Yeah. Well, Rexy, come in, please.
Yes, Mr. Simon.
Yeah, Charlie. I want you to know how he spends his time and who his friends are and where he goes nights.
I get you.
I don't suppose it'll do much good, but you might try.
Leave it to me, Chief. I got lots of ways of finding things out.
Yes, Mr. Simon.
Listen, Rexy. All right, Charlie. Thanks a lot.
So long, boss.
Rexy, did you locate Brightstein?
Well, I found out where he works. He's out on a job, and we're trying to get him.
Well, have him come to the office the minute you find him.
All right.
I've got to go to court now on that Wheelock case. I'll be back in an hour. And you better get something to eat.
I'm not hungry. Oh, Mr. Simon.
Yes, Rexy, what is it?
Mr. Simon, is there anything wrong? Oh, there is, isn't there?
Of course not. Why is there anything wrong?
Well, because if there were anything that I could do, Mr. Simon...
Now you can mind your own business. That's what you can do.
Here, Bessie, drink this. What is it? Well, it's just some bromides to quiet your nerves. Now, go on, drink it.
Does it taste bad, Miss Gordon?
Oh, no, it's nothing at all. Go on, take it. It'll make you feel better.
I hate taking stuff. And what'll Mr. Simon say if he comes in and finds me laying on his couch?
No, I'll take care of that. And if you don't feel better, I'm going to send you home in a taxi.
Oh, no, I don't want to go home. Honest, I don't, Miss Gordon. I really don't. I won't start thinking if I go home.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I'll be back in a... I think I'll be all right in a minute. I think I'll go back to the switchboard. Oh, gee, here's Mr. Simon coming now. I better scram.
What's the matter? Anything wrong?
Well, it's nothing, but Bessie had a little shock just now and it upset her. She's all right again.
You better jump in the cab, Bessie, and go home.
Oh, no, I'm all right again, Mr. Simon. Honest, I am. I'm going back to the board right now.
Now, listen, if you're not feeling all right, I want you to go home.
Oh, I'm all right, Mr. Simon. Thanks ever so much, Miss Gordon.
What's the matter with her?
I saw somebody jump out of the window of an office building, and it gave her a bad shock.
Gee, that's awful. Where was it?
Well, I don't exactly know where. It was somewhere on Fifth Avenue.
Imagine a fellow doing a thing like that.
Well, I suppose if you're tired of living, it's as good a way as any to end it.
What, jumping out of a window like that?
Well, why not? A few seconds, and it's all over. I guess people don't do it unless they have a pretty good reason.
What the devil are you so morbid about?
I'm not morbid. Only we don't ask to be brought into this world, and if we feel like leaving it, I don't see that it's anybody's business but our own.
What's the matter? Don't you feel well or something?
Oh, yes, of course. Just talking a lot of nonsense, that's all.
Good. Brightstein here?
Yes, sir. He's waiting outside.
See him right away. Wait a minute. See if you can get me Francis Clark Baird.
Yeah, I'll try him again. Bessie, try Mr. Baird again at his office.
Anything important in the mail?
Well, a check came in from the Murray Packing Company.
How much?
$10,000 plus 200 and some odd dollars for disbursement. I forget the actual amount. Oh, hello?
Sorry, Mr. Baird isn't in.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Now, Mr. Baird isn't in.
Oh, when's he expected? Wait a minute. Is that his secretary?
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to her myself. Hello? Is this Mr. Baird's secretary?
Yes, sir.
This is Mr. Simon speaking. Mr. George Simon. Do you know when Mr. Baird will be in?
I'm sorry, he didn't say.
Oh, I see. Well, do you know where he can be reached?
No,
Well, he's
no,
in town, isn't he?
I couldn't say.
Do you think you're likely to hear from him during the day?
I don't know, sir.
Yes, it's all pretty indefinite, isn't it? Well, okay, if you do hear from him, will you tell him that I called and ask him if he'll be good enough to call me?
Yes, Mr. Simon.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. I think that Baird could afford to employ a more convincing liar than that. All right, I'll see Brightstein now.
Okay.
Yes, Miss Gordon.
Mr. Simon will see Mr. Brightstein now.
Yes, Miss Gordon.
All right, now, I don't want to be disturbed. By any engagements?
You've a date at 3:30 with Mr. Laporte.
Yes, I must keep that.
I put off all the others. Oh, Mr. Brightstein, would you come right in?
Come right in, Brightstein. Sit down. Rexy, see that I'm not disturbed, will you?
Yes, sir.
Well, Brightstein, glad to see you again.
Very glad to see you, Mr. Simon.
How have you been?
Oh, I've been fine, Mr. Simon. I got a good job now.
You have? What are you doing?
I'm assistant cameraman for General Newsreel.
Is that so? That's
Yeah.
great. Listen, Brightstein, has anybody been talking to you lately about that case of yours?
No, Mr. Simon, they haven't.
Nobody's approached you or asked you any questions?
No, sir. Why?
Well, it seems the fellow that fixed that alibi of yours has been doing some talking.
Holy Moses, Mr. Simon. Does that mean that they're going to come after me again?
Yes, they're likely to.
Holy smoke, Mr. Simon. What am I going to do?
Well, don't get excited anyway, Brightstein. I think maybe everything will be all right. You do just what I tell you to.
Well, sure I will, Mr. Simon. Gee whiz, I've got a wife and family. Now, I don't know what I'll do if anything...
What you've got to do is to stick by that alibi story. Do you understand?
Yeah, sure, Mr. Simon. Whatever you say. Gosh, Mr. Simon, everything I got I owe to you. Jimmy, if it wasn't for you, I'd be in for life. I'd go through fire and water
All
for
right,
you.
Brightstein. All right, thanks. Just keep all this under your hat. If anybody questions you, just stick to your story and act dumb.
You betcha. You think everything's going to be all right, Mr. Simon?
Well, I hope it is. Why, don't you?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, just thinking.
What?
Well, I was thinking in case they should look up the hospital records.
What hospital record?
Well, the hospital records of this fellow that fixed the alibi.
What are you talking about?
Well, you know, the day it happened, the day he said I was in his house. Well, he was in the hospital.
You mean to say that the day you robbed the bathhouse, this man was in the hospital?
Yeah, he used to have fits, and they took him to the hospital.
Yeah, are you sure of this, Brightstein?
Well, yeah, sure. That's why I had to pay him $200 to testify. He was afraid they'd find out about him being in the hospital that day. I thought you knew all about it, Mr. Simon.
First I ever heard of it.
Gee, I hope everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, so do I. What is it, Rexy?
Well,
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Simon.
Goodbye, Brightstein.
you
Yes, Rexy, what is it?
rang.
Yeah, did I? I rang?
Hmm.
Oh, I forgot what I wanted.
Yes. Yes, Bessie?
Mr. Simon is here.
Oh, ask her to come right in. I don't want to be disturbed, Rexy, no matter what it is.
Yes, sir.
And keep trying to get there. Try him at his club.
Yes, Mr. Simon.
Hello, darling.
Hello, George.
You're looking wonderful.
Oh, what is it, George? You were so mysterious on the phone.
Well, darling, I'm sorry to have to tell you this. European trip is off. I know it's a big disappointment to you, and I never in my life looked forward to so much. Something has come up. I can't get away.
But you were so certain only yesterday that nothing could keep you from going. What is it? Another $100,000 fee?
Oh, I wouldn't have called off our honeymoon, darling, for a retainer from the United States Steel Corporation.
And it's not business detaining you?
Well, it is and it isn't, yeah. I don't know just how to tell you.
Well, tell me, George, what it is. It doesn't help matters to pile up the suspense.
No, I guess you're right. Well, darling, I'm in trouble. The worst trouble I've been in my whole life.
Well, tell me.
Well, I'm threatened with disbarment.
Oh, how perfect it got.
Yeah, I knew it'd shock you. And it's been a shock to me, I can tell you.
I don't understand it.